This is really something. I'm almost at a loss for words, Rob, because if you watch the same debate that I did last night, that's it. That's the end. It's you pack up, shop, and it's all done for the Democrats. And the fact that you had Joe Biden out there today trying to salvage it at this speech in North Carolina, by the way, it actually felt like they were trying to replicate a Donald Trump rally. Did you notice how they were chanting USA, USA, all the energy? They must have really prompted a lot of people in there before he showed up as to what they had to do to get the energy back. The difference is that you can't rely on that Joe Biden, because this is a guy who's in a very scripted setting with all these people, and he's on a teleprompter. When you get Joe Biden on his own, like you saw last night, it's a complete dumpster fire for him. Yeah. And that's what the American people saw. I think the Democrats have a huge problem on their hands now, Rob. We now know they have been lying to us about Joe Biden's cognitive state for years now. That is very evident to everybody. And it does beg the question, if they're willing to kind of go along with a lie that's this big and this detrimental and dangerous to America, what else are they lying to us about that we don't know? You know, and that is a very scary thought as an American citizen. This is, I mean, the fact they're going to run this guy, good luck. I think that it was a great night for Donald Trump. I think anyone who had any questions about his demeanor and how he would be on stage, man, what a champ. It was a 10 out of 10 for me with Donald Trump last night.
Yeah, he performed very well. And again, just to your point, the idea that, I guess the idea that power in this country is so untethered from the people that they can just prop something like this up and just act like everything's okay. That's how little, their catchphrase is democracy. That's how little democracy exists inside the Democrat Party, that is still running for president because they have so many different guardrails between the people and between the actual party and what the party wants. And honestly, the fact that the government runs the country. The president has no control at all. I mean, you really don't even, it doesn't even matter who the president is, at least on their side. And that is amazing to me. One of the few weapons that Biden has is abortion going into this election. And the misinformation that they're pumping out on this issue has just been tremendous. Trump, your father-in-law, is a moderate on the issue. We know that. We've heard his stance. He installed justices during his presidency who simply sent Roe versus Wade back to the states because it is an extremely divisive issue. And what he did was get it as close to the voters' grasp as he possibly could by sending it back to the states, which I think is the smartest thing you could do in a country where some people find it to be so terribly offensive and other people find it to be so terribly necessary. Last night, I thought he neutralized the issue very effectively at the debate. Let's take a listen.
Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. If I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month. He's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican.
We are not for late-term abortion, period, period, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state.
We are not for late-term abortion. That's the whole point. I mean, it's legal in several states in this country, and they're all the bluest states.
Yeah, and by the way, this was, as you pointed out, Rob, this was Joe Biden's one opportunity last night. The one thing that the Democrat voters wanted to hear from him on was abortion. And when he got the ball in his court, he totally bungled it. Nobody really understood what he was talking about. It all of a sudden went to the southern border. I don't know where he went with that, but it furthers the point that this is a huge problem for them. But you're exactly right when you talk about Donald Trump and his stance on abortion. The most democratic of processes would say send it back so that we, the people of this country and our own respective states, can opine on a decision like abortion. And that is exactly what has happened. They've got 2 things they're running on, the Democrats, January 6th and abortion. And I got to be honest with you, the American people right now want their country back. They want to be able to put food on their table, fill up their gas tanks, live in a safe and secure neighborhood. They don't have it right now, but they know, watching that debate last night, there's one of those men who'll bring it back to them, and it's Donald Trump.
Yeah, go poll people what they think about January 6th, 3-4 years later. Yeah. What? Why are we talking about this? Lara Trump, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you.